We welcome you to another live edition of the Sports Box, brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports in Hamilton. Showcase Sports for the elite athlete. And by our friends over at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and check them out at www.crowdplayapp.com for details. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
Hey everybody, welcome to Cage My IQ. I'm your host D-Bake. Tonight we will be previewing the One Championship Dangal fight card, which will be on May 15th. Brought to you on Saturday morning, a special Saturday morning showing of One Championship after the successful one on TNT 1 through 4 shown in the U.S. They're bringing you back to the normal Singapore crowd. So it'll be broadcasted on a Saturday morning on YouTube before it goes right back to its normal Friday morning routine over there in Singapore. But this fight card is headlined by a heavyweight championship matchup between Brandon Vera going up against his opponent on this card, Arjan Bhullar, who is a wrestler coming over from the UFC. But before we get started with the main event, we got 3 fights on the main card here. 6 fights total, 3 on the lead card, and then 3 on the main card. We will be previewing just the 3 main card fights right now tonight. But the very first one on here is an atomweight matchup we got between B-Win going up against Ritu Phogat. This was originally put on the one atomweight Grand Prix, but it looks like they got it on this card. So I don't know if this is getting left off the Grand Prix now, or if they're just putting it on here to get one of the matchups on here, since the Empower fight card is going to be packed full of other atomweight Grand Prix matchups. But this one jumps out to me as the 2 fighters going in opposite directions, as you see right here. We got the thing right here. We got B-Win, who's lost 4 of her last 5 fights. The last 3 by decision, 1 split decision, and 2 by unanimous decision. She's fighting out of the United States, out of Houston, Texas. She's 31 years old. She weighs 105 pounds. She's 4'11", and she fights out of War Training Center. Whereas her opponent, Ritu Phogat, aka the Indian Tigress, is fighting out of India. She's 4-0. She's 27 years old. Her weight is unknown, but her height is 5'1", so she has the height advantage, and she's fighting out of Evolve MMA. In this matchup, I feel like B-Win's going to be more of a striker. She's going to be moving around on her feet, whereas Ritu Phogat's has clear advantage. She has more power on her, but then she has a clear-cut advantage in the wrestling game. I think that's going to be her path to victory in this one. She's riding more of the momentum, having won her last 4 fights, whereas B-Win has lost 4 of her last 5. And I feel like she's going to ride the momentum of her wrestling takedown game. And I feel like Ritu Phogat's going to win this in the second round by takedown and ground and pound. She's going to be too much with that height, and too much with her takedown advantage, and she's going to wind up winning by ground and pound to pick up the atomweight division victory over her opponent, B-Win. Next to the fight card, we have a Muay Thai bout in the bantamweight division between 2 guys. You got Sanchez going up against Clancy, once again in a Muay Thai matchup, which is going to be a pretty good matchup in itself. If we bring up the thing right now, we got Sanchez, who's fighting out of Thailand, Pattaya City, Thailand. He's 22 years old. His weight is NA, and he is 5'9", and then his gym is unknown. Whereas you got Sean Clancy, who is fighting out of Cork, Ireland. He's 32 years old. His weight is unknown, and his height is 5'8", and he fights out of the Slam Warriors Cork gym. These two guys have fought before on the regional Muay Thai scene over there in Singapore, where Sean Clancy is the taller guy, of course. It doesn't look that way, but he's a little bit taller. The height, it must be different. He must be switched, but he fights a little bit more taller and broader with how he fights. He fights off of his feet, whereas Sanchez is more the explosive, smaller guy who comes at you really quickly and really powerfully. In their first matchup, Sanchez won by unanimous decision. And I think in this matchup, it's going to be more of the same. He's going to come explode at Clancy, who's going to try and use his height to his advantage to keep it at distance, because he's going to be using his length to his advantage. But just like before, Sanchez is going to explode on in, just come at him with a variety of explosive strikes and kicks, and is going to get inside of Clancy. He's not going to knock him out like we expect him to, with the ferociousness of his striking coming at Clancy, but he's going to get ahead on the scorecards easily. He might knock down Clancy once in round one, but Clancy's going to keep the fight at bay. He's going to get a few kicks here, a few strikes there, but he just doesn't have the ferociousness, like I said before, that Sanchez has. And I feel like Tawanchi Sanchez is going to win this bout by unanimous decision once again, and maybe get another shot at the bantamweight championship once again, and maybe have it go his way this time instead of losing the bout like he did last time. Now we're moving on to the main event of the evening, which is a heavyweight championship matchup between Brandon Vera going up against number one contender Arjan Bhullar in this matchup. This is going to be a good matchup. Both guys have not fought in a couple of years since Jordan won. Arjan Bhullar won his debut in this company. As you can see there, they're both coming in winning 4 of the last 5 fights. Arjan Bhullar won his one debut against Mauro Sorelli by unanimous decision, whereas for the champion, you got Brandon Vera. He also beat Mauro Sorelli by TKO, but then in his last fight, he went after the light heavyweight championship at the time and lost to Ang La Song by KO 1 year ago. And when in that time, Ang La Song just a couple weeks ago lost that to Durer. So this would be an interesting matchup in itself because it's by styles. But if you look at this, Brandon Vera is the champion, fighting out of San Diego, California. He used to fight in the UFC before coming over to ONE back in 2015, 2016. He's 43 years old. He weighs 224 pounds. He's 6'3", and he has a 76 reach advantage. And he fights out of Alliance MMA. Then you got Arjan Bhullar, whose nickname is Singh. He's 10-1. He fights out of Richmond, British Columbia, Canada. He's 35 years old. He's 246 pounds, so he weighs 24. So he weighs 22 more pounds than Vera. He's 6 foot, and then he has a 75.5 reach, and he fights out of Ryan's MMA, Checkmate, Vancouver. Two different style fighters. Brandon Vera likes to stand up and trade. He has a little bit of a power strike to him, and he can do a little bit of kicks here and there, but it's mainly stand up and box with him. He has that knockout power, and then he can go to the ground here and there, but he's not going to want to do that in this matchup because you got Arjan Bhullar, who is a wrestler out of Canada. He left UFC as well, but on his own merit. He wanted to come over here and improve himself. And after that one debut against Maurice Sorelli, where he just completely had that matchup won from the get-go, he's going to want to get Brandon Vera to the ground and avoid the striking of Vera, especially at the heavyweight division matchup. And I think he'll be able to do that. With both fighters not fighting in over a year, they might be a little rusty. And then Brandon Vera's come back up from cutting weight to light heavyweight, going up against An La Sung, which he didn't look very that well in that matchup, and he got beat for it. And now he's coming back up. He's definitely going to be 20 pounds less. So I feel like Arjan Bhullar can use that weight advantage to the T. Is going to try and get Vera down and then ground and pound him, and then either try and go for a submission or just wear him down to the point where he dominates the fight on the ground. Whereas Vera's going to want to stand up. He's going to want to trade with Bhullar, stuff his takedown defenses as much as he can, and then catch him with a nice strike that just puts Arjan on the ground. But in this matchup, I feel like the champ's going to finally be dethroned. You're going to have Arjan Bhullar take him down several times, and I feel like in the third round, he's going to put him away with a good ground and pound, and we're going to crown a new one championship heavyweight division crown, and you're going to have, and the new champion's going to be Arjan Bhullar fighting out of Richmond, British Columbia, Canada. And then Brandon Vera is going to either get the rematch later on, or maybe he retires due to the fact that he's 43 years old and he isn't getting any younger because he's been around for a long time. But we're going to be crowned a new champion by the name of Arjan Bhullar, in my opinion. So tonight we're going to have 3 winners. We're going to have, from me, we're going to have Rito Fogat win the atomweight matchup. We're going to have Sanchez win the Muay Thai bout, and then we're going to have Arjan Bhullar win the heavyweight championship matchup on this card for the one Dangal fight card on May 15th, 2021 in Singapore. That'll wrap up the one championship Dangle preview show by yours truly, D-Bake. Once again, we're Cajun IQs are affiliated with the Sports Box. You can look down below and follow the Sports Box on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to their YouTube page right there, and to catch all the content and all the podcasts on the Sports Box. We cover everything from baseball, basketball, hockey to mixed martial arts. And then don't forget, I'm the host of Cage My IQ, the best place for MMA content. You can follow Cage My IQ on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube page where all the content is stored. That's where all the previews, reviews, and interviews are for Cage My IQ. We have it all from UFC to Bellator to PFL to one championship now. whatever you like for MMA, we've got it for you on there. So go to our YouTube page, spread the word, and if you like MMA content, Cage My IQ is the place to be. Check us out. But once again, I'm your host, D-Bake, and this was the One Championship Dangle preview show. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for watching this episode of Cage My IQ on the Sports Box. Please remember to follow us on all of our social media outlets. On Facebook at Sportsbox Show, Twitter at Sportsbox Show, Instagram at The Sportsbox Show. Find us on YouTube and join Outside the Box, our Facebook sports discussion group. The Sports Box is brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports in Hamilton. Showcase Sports for the elite athlete. And also our friends over at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use promo code THEBOX at sign up for 10 free points. Thank you for joining us.